Our next guest, we've been asked by our community to branch out in more than just automobiles because many of you have commercial equipment, toys, boats, RVs, and different things. And you're asking us to provide the information to help you become prepared, informed, and educated in each of those areas. And our next guest is one of those businesses, Wes Gwynn with American Truck and Trailer, and they specialize in semi truck and trailer repair and service. And their corporation, their company, has been in our community for a number of years and has several different businesses. It's an honor to welcome for the first time on our show Wes Gwynn, General Manager of American Truck and Trailer. Wes, welcome.
Thank you, Mitch. I appreciate having me on.
Tell us a little bit about the history of American Truck and Trailer Repair.
The owners are Kevin Campbell and Melinda Campbell. About 15 years ago, me and Kevin worked together at a local dealership, and 11 years ago, he decided to kind of branch out and do this truck repair on his own, and knew me and my work ethic, so he employed me, and we basically opened the company together, along with Melinda, obviously.
And you just mentioned work ethic. I mean, this is one of the things that we really are trying to get a community to look for in a business. And it really starts with the core fundamental values of a business owner and the management of that business that drives the success of a business. And you shared with me earlier the business model that you work behind.
Yeah, me and Kevin both kind of came up with this one years ago, that we just do what we say we're going to do. And what we mean by that is, obviously we're going to do what we say we're going to do, but if, nobody's perfect. So if there's any problems, anything arises there, we just jump in and take care of it. We get the customer on the road and we deal with the mess later on.
Well, and you just said it. And that's ethics right there. That's integrity, just acknowledging the fact that even in a perfect world, there's going to be human failure or even a component failure. I mean, it's not always even your fault. It could be the part was defective that you put in. And yet it's in the light of those failures that that really defines a business, how they act. Do they act with velocity, with integrity? Do they do the right thing? Do they do it with velocity? And that's when you really find out what you have. And this is the real reason why American Truck and Trailer and the other companies, all within the same family-owned operation here in town, have been invited to be a part of this group of businesses, the top in our community. It's evident. It's evident when you walk in the shop that what you get is a commitment to integrity and quality in everything they do. And you said about 11 years ago, American Truck and Trailer started, but this has branched off into other businesses as well. So tell us a little bit about the whole company.
Yeah, certainly. And funny, when we did start back 11 years ago, it was the two owners and then just three of us mechanics out running around. And we've grown it to 10 mechanics at American Truck with 4 other office staff, including myself. From there, a few years had gone by, and we do a lot of local fleet. We're more of a fleet and maintenance type company. We really thrive on doing that type of work. We can handle the engines and transmissions and stuff, but we're really committed to helping people be on the road safely and not be red tagged at the scales and that type of stuff. So these companies eventually started bringing us their company pickups and type stuff, and hey, can you help me out here? So after a few years had gone by and we just were overwhelmed with that, Kevin and Melinda opened up Dynamic Diesel,
which specializes in regular pickup trucks. And I want to separate the two because American Truck and Trailer Repair is for your big rigs, your semi-tractors and semi-18-wheel trailers.
Correct.
In those regards. And let's get back to the services that you do provide at American Truck and Trailer, because you have both on and off-site capabilities.
Certainly. We have 3 mobile trucks, and we cover quite a wide area. I do not go into California, but we'll run out to Stead, Fernley, down to Carson, Minden area. So we cover a pretty good area for the customers there.
And you recently just started to cover more of that Carson, Minden, Gardnerville end of the area, which is really, I think, undercovered for big rigs. And I'm glad that you're expanding out into that area for our community.
Yes, that's correct. And with doing the fleet type stuff, when I tie into a fleet company, we really try to, concentrate on sending the same service truck to them, so they got a familiar guy they're dealing with. And I kind of look around their yard and realize what type of lights they're using and what kind of wheel seals and brakes are going to be on their vehicles. So we stock those on our trucks and have them with us when we show up.
Well, we talked about this before. Huge parts inventory, and this is a really big item because having the stuff in stock. I mean, these commercial consumers that use semi-truck and trailer repairs like yours, being on the road and not having and minimizing downtime, it correlates into their livelihood. It's everything, and you carry a lot of this. Explain what goes into that.
Yeah, that's correct. We became a Dayton distributor quite a few years back, which is a big line of suspension parts. And we're able, with that I'm carrying brakes and chambers and springs, airbags, all that type of suspension type products for these trucks, along with we have other product lines where we can handle all the normal type stuff, carrying belts and shocks and whatnot. So I carry pretty good inventory for just about any make on the road. As far as you break a spring and show up or blow an airbag, there's pretty high chance that I have it on the shelf, so we can just pop it in and get you going down the road again. Which just
it eliminates that I have to order a part, it'll be here tomorrow, and you're down another day or two or over a weekend for making your money. And that's, again, their livelihood relies on having that truck on the road operating. And you mentioned it. I really saw this. You have trailers full and indoor area full of these components. I walked out into the yard, and you have axles ready to just with brake systems already on them, ready to go on vehicles.
Correct. There's services out there that can repair axles, and it might generally it rolls out about the same amount of cost. It's just how much time you want to spend down to get that facility going. So if we lose a spindle on a trailer, I've got an axle sitting right there. We can basically bring you in that day, roll it in there, do whatever welding, and have you back out on the road that same afternoon.
And these were like fully prepared, ready to just put on, bolt in, weld in, go units. Not like you just got to start from scratch even building the units. They were already assembled with components on them.
Right. And then the springs that go with them, we carry that type of stuff in stock, the U-bolts, the shocks, the torque arms, whatever other parts it takes to get this thing handled, we have them on stock.
And you were mentioning that, you found over the years, you've been doing this 11 years at this location, that there's certain things that that if you have them, they're used commonly, like you were talking about, like rear main seals on some of these components.
Correct. We actually have just like flywheels sitting around ready to go that fit most trucks that are already ground, so I'm not waiting on the time for somebody to resurface this. I'll send it out, but in that amount of time, I've got a new flywheel going into your truck. We carry, your local manufacturers. A lot of these trucks are designed with Cat, Cummins, Detroit, Volvo Max, that type of stuff. So we carry rear main seals for those, and the miscellaneous parts that we're seeing all the time, I keep that in inventory also. We've really jacked up our inventory over the last couple of years because we noticed inventory going down in this town, and it really kind of slows down the process.
Well, and that's one key to a good business, is that they're prepared to meet your needs as a consumer. But then there's another part of it that really, I think, transfers into the quality of the repair and the job being done right the first time, and that gets into your technicians and their qualifications, and you really have a lot to boast there, so I'll let you share some about that.
Yeah, we have a wide variety of technicians. Actually, we like to say we basically do everything but tires and paint. So I have a Hunter laser alignment machine. I've got 3 guys that have been certified through Hunter on that. One guy's got 15 years of experience, and my top guy for alignments is 20 years plus doing alignments. I've got, several guys certified in CAT, Cummins, Detroit, one with International. We're very schooled with internationals. Mac, Volvo, I have a Volvo tech we pulled in. So.
And you mentioned this. These are people that have been trained and certified from the manufacturers and have worked in the industry for years. I mean, these are really highly trained, qualified technicians. I mean, to get the job done right the first time. We mentioned on our promo that we're going to talk a little bit about the new CSA 2010 regulations, the Department of Transportation's. And so let's talk a little bit about that for our truck listeners out there, because I heard and I thought this was kind of interesting that to do DOT inspections, there's very little requirement. Like in the automotive side of it, in order to work on emissions equipment, you have to be 2G certified and licensed by the Department of Motor Vehicles. But in the truck DOT inspections, Department of Transportation inspections, there's very little parameters there. So the quality of the company that they choose can really vary widely. So tell us a little bit about the new regulations in your shop's qualifications.
Yeah, certainly. The CSA stuff is on a different line here, but the federal DOT regulations basically state that you have worked on air brake systems and have been inspecting vehicles for more than 2 years. So you just basically sign a paperwork acknowledging that. So there's really nobody out there that's certified, so to speak, to do DOTs.
Or licensed by the state to do them.
Exactly. The only thing we did a little different than I think different than most people is we physically invite the Nevada Department of Transportation into our shop once a year to train our guys how they're doing the inspections. So I can look at this vehicle and know what they're going to look at when they've got him pulled over alongside the road or sitting on a jump scale. So I can get those problems corrected and know what they're going to go after before they get out there and get tagged and stopped or...
I want our trucking community to visualize this, because you actually have to shut the shop down for a day to invite them out to spend the time doing an actual inspection on a truck in front of your guys, walking around, showing their entire process.
Correct.
Open book. This is what we're going to do if we pull one of these vehicles over, if we're examining one at the scales, so that they can make sure that every one of these inspections that they do are going to meet that standard.
Correct.
Now, you also mentioned that because we're closely in a close proximity to the state of California, that your standard of the DOT inspections exceeds the Nevada DOT regulations.
Yes, that's correct. There's basically a federal DOT, and then each state has their own, policies that they provide to on top of the federal that you have to follow within. So due to the fact that most of our customers are going over the hill, we follow with the California's criterias because they're more stringent than anybody else's. So just because you passed here with Nevada standards doesn't, you're going to get up on the scales and they're going to say, well, you're in California now, so you're going to have to meet our standards. So we try to follow those standards as well.
I am certain of one thing, that somewhere out there right now, one of our listeners is going, darn it, I wished I saw them, that I got red flagged at one of these scales because that was a requirement that the shop that I took it to didn't realize was required. I was going over the hill and being red flagged in a truck. I mean, that's just catastrophic. I mean, you can't move it from the site.
That's correct.
You either have to tow it or fix it on the roadside right there. And I did want to make sure that we didn't forget to really make sure that our listeners heard that you have both a stationary shop fully equipped to do everything like you said on a vehicle, and you have 3 mobile trucks that you can go out and do roadside repairs and get these guys back on the road again. And how do they get a hold of you for any of those?
We're at 775-351-2881.
And that's Wes Gwynn with American Truck and Trailer, a fine business in our community. And if you are not getting the level of competence that you're hearing on this show from your present truck and trailer repair shop, definitely see Wes Gwynn with American Truck and Trailer. We're proud to have you on our show, and glad that you made it for our first time, and welcome you back in the future.
All right. Thank you, Mitch.
Thank you, Wes.